Hi everybody, this is Joe with Joe's Premium Firewood, bringing another fun-filled, exciting video. Today's video, I'm going to address a question that I'm frequently asked by customers and other woodhounds is, where do I get my firewood from? This truckload I got, I'll talk about it here in a second, but I just want you to get a good look at it. It is going to be sold as bundle wood. As soon as the video's over, I'm going to back it up in there and stack a row there, and then stack a row there, and then back the Easton Made Ultra in between it and split it. But I probably won't split it till tomorrow morning. So I'll get to that in a minute. Let me go ahead and set this up on the tripod, and we'll get this going. I'm making this video on Sunday, so you probably watched my live stream yesterday. I was talking about going and getting that load. But before we get into this, if this is your first time here, I make all firewood related videos. If you got a quick second and you enjoy this type of video, hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up. Thank you. All right, this video, I had to make a list. Normally I go off script and just talk and say what comes to my mind, but I don't want to forget anything off of here. So that's why I made this list, and I'm just going to go right down through it. I just thought, as I thought of all my sources, I just wrote them, so there's like no particular order. But as many of you know, I started my business in 2012, and I was only selling, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 cords a year. Now I'm up to 150, 200, and it's very hard for me to keep up. 50 years old, not in the best of shape. So I'm to the point where I'm buying most of my the wood that I cut, but there are times that I do cut myself, and I'll explain that in just a second. So right now I have like 3 or 4 main log suppliers. You know my brother, you guys know him as the King. If not, check out some of his videos. But I bought like the wood back there, all that from him, and on the driveway, and I have videos on my inventory. But I'm his #1 customer, but he's going back to plumbing. He just had the unemployment and the $600 a week gravy train, so he had time to go cut and didn't have to worry about doing any plumbing work. So he's like one of my biggest suppliers, or at least for the last 6 weeks, but it won't be like that all the time. Herb is probably my #1 log supplier. I've got videos of him doing deliveries of here, or me at his landing cutting wood. He used to bring me blocks, but now he only wants to bring me processed wood, which is fine by me because he's got access to a lot of dry wood. Then there's Tom. He's kind of part-time. He has like his own plastic business he runs, and he runs a tree business on the side. And I buy logs from him. I've also got videos of him. I'd like to put it in the end screen, but I can only put 4 videos on the end, and I've made videos of everything that I have done, and all my suppliers, except for the ones that are camera shy, like Phil. Speaking of Phil, that ash that you see in my truck, it's mostly ash. There is a couple pieces of cherry. I just went over to his house. He's real close by. He doesn't have a truck, so I got to go pick it up. But I could walk to his house in like 2 miles, but it's like 5 miles driving. And that monster load right there, I paid him $100 for, and then I prepaid him for the next load because he needed some money, and so I said I'll go ahead and do that. He's sold me a lot of wood. So Phil's another one of my suppliers. Then there's John. He's like a logger. He does walnut, but in the wintertime he'll cut me ash from time to time. And then there's Chad, which he does concrete in the summer, but during the winter he don't work, so he sells to me. And we all know the game player Mike. I don't know if he's coming back to work. He's also on that $600 a week unemployment gravy train, so why work? So as soon as he wants to come back, he knows how I like the wood. So those are my main log suppliers. All right, another source that I get firewood from is what I call Roadside Logging. I've made one video of that on this channel, and on my other channel, Joe's Firewood Videos, I've made 2 videos of roadside loading. Basically, if I see a tree that has fell down, or the power company has taken down and it's laying in the ditch and it's there for like 3 months and it's not in somebody's yard, I will stop. I hate to see it go to waste. I will stop and cut it up. Some people have commented and saying I'm stealing, but it's worthless in the ditch. So yeah, maybe it's trespassing if anything, but I've did that, I don't know, maybe a dozen times, but that's one source that I get it. I just, like I said, I hate to see it go to waste, and it's got to be a good log and not on like a highway or something, on a very seldom slow speed road. So that's another source. Then I do have properties to cut on, whether I do it myself or I have somebody help me or send one of my suppliers there, like Mike, to do the cutting. But my neighbors that had 1,400 trees logged in 2016 and 2017, they let us cut there, but they took down like every tree. And now with the canopy gone, it's just, at this time of year, there's prickers like 8 feet tall. And I'm not going there and fighting it. We've got most of the tops out of there, the easy ones, I should say. There's some on like steep hillsides that may never get to. Plus, I don't want to do it this time of year, and he's a deer hunter, so we can't get out there in the fall to cut. So we have to do it in wintertime. But like I say, steep hills, it's hard to move, and it's almost not worth it. But during the spring, I will be back out there when my sales are slow, and I'll go cut. Then there's Outdoors with Eric. You should check out his channel. He's in Galesburg, or Dirtburg, which is like about 30 miles from me. So that's a long ways to drive when all I got is a pickup truck. But he's got some good wood out there, nice ash trees, standing dead, stuff on the ground that's good, but it's a long drive. And then I got to give him a little bit cut on shears where I give him, I don't know, he lets me use this Can-Am Defender, and then I fill up the trunk of that or whatever, the storage compartment, and with some blocks and give it to him. But that's a good spot to cut at. He's also a deer hunter, so I can't get there in the fall, and I'm not sure if he wants me out there right now, but I don't even like cutting when it's above 80 degrees. So then the other property, of course, the honey hole. Everybody's familiar with that, or should be, the ones that you guys have been with me for a while. That's not too far away. But most of the wood out there, I'd say 80%, like what my brother, the king of Firewood, has brought me, has been green wood, you know, from the oak or the hickory, or this cherry and maple, which I won't be able to sell till next year. But I can go out there, and there's still some dead dry ones scattered around, and I can always go there when I get slow. But when I'm real busy like I am now, I don't have time to go cut. Then, of course, we got our property here. We have about 10 acres. But I've got every dead tree out of here. Occasionally we get a storm or a big branch falls off an oak tree, and then I go clean it up. But like I say, there's no need for me to harvest anything live now, like hickory or oak, because we got so much wood at the honey hole. So, but like I say, if a dead branch falls, then we go around and clean that up. But it's not much here. Like I say, I've cleaned it out years ago. Okay, and then there's a place that you guys always say, tree service, just like back 40. Well, some of the stuff that back 40 gets, you know, and I know some of this isn't pretty, but the stuff he gets, which I would consider, I wouldn't even take out of the woods, which is basically junk. The pieces like this big, knots, poor species like pine or basswood, but they just bring you everything, and I don't want to do that. But there are a couple tree services, which I did make a video on this channel a couple weeks ago. B&B Tree Service out of Martin, Michigan. They just cut, I hooked them up with a oak and hickory job, and they cut it up and they bucked it up to 16 inches. And I went and I took a load of hickory out of there, even though I got about a 3-year supply sitting here. So, but most tree companies that call me are out of the blue, or ones that I've dealt with in the past. They cut it like this big, this big, this big, and it's like, you think the king's inconsistent. They just cut it as fast as they can cut to do the minimum model work to get it out of there. And then, you know, sometimes tree companies call me and they're like, "Oh, can you come here? I got this huge oak tree for you. You come clean it up and you can have the wood, but I need it done tomorrow." And I'm like, "No, you're not doing me a favor. I'm doing you a favor." And I'm not gonna do that. If they put like a time limit on it, then I'm going to charge them to go clean up the mess, which they would get paid to clean up themselves. So unless it's like, you know, perfect, nice straight ash or something like that, I don't really mess with it. There's Covana Tree Service in Grand Rapids. I've got some wood from them before, but then again, it's like I would rather have them just bring 8-foot logs back to their landing and then let me cut it up how I want it. So I do get some from Tree Service, but it's not very often. Then a customer cleanup. If a tree falls in one of my firewood customers' yard a few times, or I've gone and did tree jobs for them. If it's real easy, I've gone and cleaned up trees at customers. It's nice to get paid and get the wood. But there's other times where it's like, only if it's good wood, I'll do it just for the wood. Because if I got to clean up brush, but I have been paid and have got the wood before, so that's not too bad. And one way I haven't did yet, but everybody's been saying too, and I know Tom Waddle did it, and when I seen the logs that he had there, I was very impressed because I was thinking it was going to be junk. But have like a semi-logs, come with logs, and bring like 8-foot logs and dump them here. But I don't like dealing with them piled up on top of each other. And plus, I'm pretty sure it's all going to be green or mostly green, unless they can get nice straight poles of ash or standing dead stuff, but that's barkless. I just don't see that happening. So, and right now with the honey hole and how much wood I got here, I don't even need to mess with that. So I'll just stick with like my main log suppliers. So, all right. So I hope that kind of clears that up for you guys. And I appreciate everybody who made it to the end. And we'll see you guys at the next one.